Welcome to our channel. If you're anything like me, you'll have caught the Prime Minister's recent appearance. It wasn't just your typical political sparring match. It was a goldmine of pressing issues and heated exchanges. Today we're serving up 30 video ideas inspired by that interview. So grab your notepad and pen because you won't want to miss these. Let's dive into it. What were the main points Rishi Sunak tried to get across? Was it a defensive strategy on inflation or a genuine attempt to connect on NHS waiting lists? Every word, every pause, every sigh was analysed by the media. Did he succeed? You decide.
Inflation can feel like one of those vague economic terms politicians love to bandy about. But for everyday people, it's about the squeeze on their wallets. How is inflation affecting the price of bread, milk, or filling up the car? The aim is to make inflation tangible and understandable.
Let's talk about the NHS, a subject close to all our hearts. The Prime Minister faced tough questions about NHS waiting lists, research different healthcare models, interview doctors and nurses on the front lines, and speak to patients directly affected by these long waits. This chapter blends insightful analysis, potential solutions, and real human stories that resonate with your viewers.
Remember that moment when you went to buy your usual groceries and practically had a heart attack at the checkout? This chapter dives into the impact of inflation on food prices. Can people save money by switching supermarkets? Are there alternative recipes using cheaper ingredients? Get creative in the kitchen with budget-friendly meal ideas.
HS2, the controversial rail project that just won't quit. Economic benefits, improved connectivity, and job creation versus environmental impact, spiraling costs and disruption. Use maps, graphics, and drone footage to show the project's scale and impact. Break it down into digestible chunks for your viewers.
Time to put Rishi Sunak's economic policies under the microscope. Examine his track record as Chancellor and Prime Minister. What successes can you point to? Where did his policies fall short? Use charts and data to back up your points. Explain complex concepts simply. The goal is to inform, not intimidate. This is where you bring the human touch. Find a family deeply impacted by the cost of living crisis. This isn't about statistics, it's about emotions. Let them share their struggles, fears, and hopes for the future. This chapter gives a voice to those often overlooked. Elderly citizens are often hit hardest by inflation and rising costs. This chapter explores their specific challenges. Are pensions keeping pace with inflation? Is there enough support for social care? Practical solutions the government could implement to ease their burden.
This chapter delves into the relationship between government policies and inflation. What tools are at their disposal? Interest rates, taxation, quantitative easing? Explain these concepts clearly, but don't shy away from the limitations of intervention. Are there external factors, like global supply chain issues or the war in Ukraine, beyond their control? This chapter requires a nuanced approach.
Let's broaden the discussion beyond HS2. What does the future hold for public transport in the UK? Explore high-speed rail alternatives, sustainable transport options, and autonomous vehicles. Use futuristic visuals, animations, and interview urban planners or transport visionaries. Ignite viewers' imaginations and get them excited about the possibilities.
Are we really worse off than our European neighbours? This chapter compares the cost of living and inflation rates across various countries. Use clear data visualizations, such as bar charts or maps. Delve into cultural and societal factors contributing to disparities. This chapter offers a broader perspective. Inflation affects people differently depending on their income. Rising costs disproportionately impact low-income households. Real-life examples illustrate the struggles faced by those on the breadline. Highlight organizations working to alleviate poverty and provide support. This chapter offers a sobering reality check and a glimmer of hope.
This chapter explores the media's role in shaping public perception of inflation. Are they sensationalizing the issue or providing a balanced perspective? We analyze news headlines, opinion pieces, and social media discussions. The goal is to encourage critical thinking and media literacy.
The NHS funding debate is complex. What are the benefits of increased funding? Shorter waiting lists? Better staff retention? Improved facilities? But also consider the drawbacks. Present a balanced view, letting viewers form their own conclusions.
Time to hold the Prime Minister accountable. Analysing Rishi Sunak's priorities versus actions. Did he tackle inflation? Did he address the NHS crisis? A critical eye is needed to hold power to account. This chapter compares how the government and private sector respond to the cost of living crisis. Are government initiatives like energy bill discounts making a real difference? Are businesses supporting employees through pay rises or other benefits? This chapter explores different approaches and their effectiveness. It's not all doom and gloom. This chapter highlights inspiring stories of individuals, families, or communities coping with the cost of living crisis. These stories offer hope, practical tips, and a reminder of resilience and ingenuity in challenging times.
We interview economists, financial analysts, and academics to predict the UK's economic future. This chapter offers a glimpse into potential scenarios ahead.
Rising interest rates are a major financial worry for many homeowners. This chapter offers practical advice for homeowners and buyers. We'll explain different types of mortgages, the impact of rate changes, and tips on managing payments.
This chapter analyses recent polls and surveys to gauge public sentiment on the economy. Are people confident in Rishi Sunak's leadership? Do they feel supported during these times? We use data visualizations to present the poll results clearly.
Can technology help alleviate NHS pressures? This chapter explores telemedicine, AI diagnostics, and robotic surgery, offering a glimpse into the future of healthcare.
This chapter dives into the debate over government spending. What essential services require funding? Healthcare, education, defence. We will explore the trade-offs and choices governments face.
Using HS2 as a starting point, we explore the debate over large-scale infrastructure projects. Balancing progress with responsibility is crucial.
Rishi Sunak's wealth sparks much discussion. This chapter explores how his background influences public perception and political strategies.
Social media is a powerful force in shaping economic discourse. This chapter explores both positive and negative aspects. On one hand, social media amplifies marginalized voices and provides a platform for alternative economic perspectives.
This chapter examines government programs designed to support low-income families. Are these measures enough to lift people out of poverty, or are they just temporary fixes? Hear from families and experts on poverty and social welfare. This chapter explores ethical dilemmas faced by governments when making decisions impacting millions. How do they balance economic growth and social welfare? We'll use case studies and real-world examples to illustrate these complexities. Strikes can significantly impact public services, including the NHS. We explore the reasons, perspectives of workers and the government, and the consequences for the public. This chapter provides a balanced and informative perspective on this complex issue. This final chapter looks beyond the immediate crisis and explores strategies for long-term economic recovery. How can the UK build a more sustainable and resilient economy? We'll interview economists, policymakers, and thought leaders who are working on innovative solutions. So, there you have it. 30 video ideas from one explosive interview. We've covered inflation and the cost of living crisis. Pick an idea, do your research, and let your creativity flow. Maybe your video will get people talking and demanding change. Until next time, happy creating.